I was walking through here this morning before I was on that side of the road right there, and before the this low pressure storm system moved in this afternoon. It was real clear actually, and like a high pressure was still in the atmosphere. And right over there, that's the east. That's where the sun was coming up, and it was like blue, dark blue and light blue. And the sun hadn't come over the horizon yet. It was just the twilight of the sun. You know, the rays of the sun in the twilight that was lighting up the sky. And you know, I was like right over there, man, by that where them buildings are, kind of by that. Ow. That foot right there, it's almost completely paralyzed. And it was so beautiful, and there was hardly any traffic. I just like started facing east. I raised my hands up and just started worshiping God right there. And like I went on about my business. And then whenever I was in the Wendy's parking lot across from McNeese, I was walking and I looked down and there was a $5 bill laying on the ground, and the angels put it there because it was folded just like one of the folds in the little arrow look in the logo of the Chase Bank. It was folded like that. And plus, the fold has another meaning that is personal to me, because I saw a program one time where people had collected rare dollar bills and $2 bills and stuff that had been printed by the Fed, and it had a flaw in it whenever it was printed. It was below quality spec. It had a mistake in it, but it was real rare. Okay, and and it was very valuable too. And the word of the Lord came to me, and He said, because you worship me regardless of your circumstances and how poor you are and how much you're going through, I provided that $5 bill for you, and the angels put it there. And the Lord told me to tell this story. He did. I remember when I was going to cows. That's for Crystal. Crystal and me is going to have a bunch of freaking cows. And we're gonna barbecue them. Her, me, and Hunter. Nobody else, just us three. Y'all aren't invited. But the Lord told me to tell this story. I remember when I was going to Living Way, and Brother Nugent told a story when he first started preaching. Him and his wife, Sister Nugent, were evangelists, and they were going to all these little country churches in like northern and central Louisiana, and they barely had any money to pay them. But Brother Nugent said, I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next town anyways. He said he had an old car that didn't have no air conditioning in it. And see, And he said that him and his wife got in that old car and they were going to the next town and they ain't had no money for gas. And he said they had a blanket there that was all wadded up on the front seat, and the heater didn't work in the car. You see him? That's a McNeese Farm right there. And so they're going down the road and she got cold, so she took that blanket and she unwadded it up and wrapped it around her. And whenever she wrapped it around her, a $20 bill fell out, man. The angels put it there. I remember Brother Nugent said he stopped the car, man, he got out of the car and started dancing and shouting in the Holy Ghost and praising God. And then the Lord spoke to me. And he said, if the church that he had sent me to, even though they didn't have the money to really help my mother and me out of the street and put us into lodging, you know, to get us out of the dangerous situation we're in, where we almost have to fight every day. And the Lord told me if that church would have done that and would have stepped out in faith like Brother Nugent did and been committed, then they wouldn't be going through the financial situations they're going through right now. You know, the Lord sent me to that church as a test of their faith, and because they failed the test, then the blessing was held up and the financial provisions for the church was cut off. And the Lord told me to tell that church they need to get back to that faith like Brother Nugent had when he was first started preaching. So, that's all I got. Peace.